I was in Auschwitz today. It was my first time there. I stood on the ground where my grandmother and grandfather and my aunt landed in June of 1944 when I was 5 months of age. And except for some circumstances, it could very easily have happened that my mother and I would have ended up in the same spot. And I know the Nazi doctors, you go to the right, you get to be a worker. You go to the left, you go to the gas chambers. And my mother with a small baby, that's where we would have gone. And that's where my grandparents went. And when I first found out about that horror, I was 11 or 12 years old. And for years, actually, every time I thought about it, I thought my head would actually, it's almost like I was dizzy. My head would spin, and I thought, how could this even have happened? How is this even possible? And how could the world let it happen? Well, my head is not spinning anymore, but the world is letting it happen again. It's in a different form. It's a different set of circumstances. But the essence of it is the same. Children are being murdered in their beds. People are being tortured. They're being starved. The whole land has been demolished. The animals have been killed. The plants have been destroyed. Everything has been obliterated. And the world watches. In this country, on Saturday I finish here on Friday, and then on Saturday I fly to Hungary. And this country, and my country, Hungary, are welcoming a war criminal here and into Hungary as if nothing had happened. A war criminal who has been charged with war crimes by the International Court of Justice. A war criminal in a country where there are 4 internationally known, renowned experts on genocide, Jews, who have called what's happening right now genocide. They're saying that what Israel is doing right now meets the international legal definition of genocide. You don't need to have gas chambers. You don't have to have Nazi doctors. You just have to have people in power who want to control and, if necessary, obliterate another people. And that's what we're seeing right now. Now, at Auschwitz, what you saw was the clever cruelty of the bureaucratic mind, a mind that can plan such horrors. Well, Israel has been doing that for decades in Gaza. How much calories can the Palestinians survive on? Not letting in medicines, medical equipment is not a new thing. It's been going for a long time. The first massacre of people in Gaza did not happen in 2000 and, Israel has had these bombing campaigns in Gaza for a long time. This is not the first time that they've killed hundreds of civilians, this time thousands. hundreds of children. That's been going on repeatedly for a long time. But the first massacre in Gaza took place in a place called Kfar Qasim in 1956, where they literally massacred hundreds of civilians. They lined them up and they shot them. The bodies, it was in the heat of the summer, and people were under curfew, so the bodies rotted in the streets for days before they could be buried. This is how Israel wages war. And it's a trick of the colonial mind that the aggressor is always the victim who fights back.